Testing, testing. Do you remember that time Marvel was anything and everything people were talking about? Guilty. This took place back in around 2018 when Infinity War and Endgame came out, all the way until 2021's WandaVision. I remember it was the peak of COVID, and my friends and I would stream the new episode of WandaVision every week on call. TikTok and Reddit were blowing up with conspiracies, and each week, as new episodes came out, everyone started to realize that Marvel was actually not that ambitious. In fact, weekly episodes turned out to be an awful idea because while all the fans were starting to build up how crazy the finale was gonna be, yeah, nothing special really happened. I could go on about the downfall of Marvel forever, but that's been done so many times, I wouldn't even bother. Long story short, WandaVision was the beginning of the end. It didn't take long for extremely bored quarantined people to realize that everything Marvel was producing had the exact same structure. Superhero goes through a tough time, bad guy appears, occasional death of a side character, superhero defeats the bad guy, good guy wins. Yay! But don't get me wrong, Marvel isn't the only one doing this. The structure has been around for a long time because who doesn't want to see the good guy win? As much as I love my corny CW shows, those guys have been doing it for ages. So why am I bringing this up now? Well, unfortunately, my little ape brain has been eating up this type of content for so long that nothing really excites me anymore. Also, guys, don't you dare recommend a thriller with a plot twist, because this is not about that. And honestly, I'm glad that my ape brain isn't going through this alone. People online have been expressing their disinterest in Netflix content for a while, specifically the amount of movies and TV shows being produced that lack actual care and effort. This leads into the main topic of this video, which I am so excited to talk about, which is The Boys. Now, if you don't know The Boys, it's a series on Amazon Prime that came out in 2019. Essentially, it's a gory, action-packed, dark comedy that discusses very relevant issues in the world. Political satire meets superheroes. Now, let me clarify right off the bat that this show is not for everyone. When I say it's gory, I mean gory. And the humor is quite dark, definitely not a show you would casually watch with your grandparents on a Sunday night. Also, if you're not into the feeling of discomfort or uneasiness when you're watching something, then it might not be for you. But you really don't have to know or be interested in the plot to understand where I'm coming from when I say that this show has changed the superhero game. At least in my head, there's nothing that can compare. So The Boys universe currently has 4 seasons and 2 spin-offs, Diabolical and Gen V, which are equally as graphic. I've watched these shows countless times and I actually stay excited every time. By the way, I'm aware that it's based off comic books, and although it's changed a lot, I am going to be reviewing The Boys as a standalone TV series. So to all you diehard comic OGs that hate the new season, get out of here. Anywho, what makes this season so great? Well, let's start off with the plot. Like I said, The Boys is a superhero franchise. Not in the way that Marvel and DC are, but let's just say that in this universe, the superheroes are the villains. The writers basically said, look how much everyone loves Spider-Man. They've got merch, action figures, costumes, you name it. It's almost like he's a goddamn celebrity. Wait a second, celebrity. Okay, let's create a universe where superheroes do exist, except they're a corporation and everything is about profit. So there's Supes, who are superior beings to everyone else, and then there's everyone else. These Supes don't really have a purpose other than looking pretty and having cool powers. I mean, there's not really bad guys to fight unless you're counting everyday criminals, in which that case, police kind of become irrelevant. Or of course, the almighty evil force known as gravity. So yes, the Supes are essentially actors. They produce content, they occasionally save someone, and they're treated like celebrities. They're rich and famous, so I'm sure you can understand how they behave. They're, not good people. Now you see, I think this is the funniest plotline ever. When we think of superheroes, we think of kind-hearted, brave individuals that save people. We don't really question what they're like behind the scenes. Like, what if Superman just did everything for clout? It's so funny to think about, but also so relevant to real life. The directors are basically giving a huge FU to the higher-ups in society, and that's not really something that's been done to this extent before. If you don't believe me, here's an example. Do you remember this moment in time? When Kendall Jenner single-handedly ended a riot. Well, here's a clip from The Boys that requires no further explanation.
We gotta listen to each other.
Or what about the symbolism behind somebody who can save an entire plane of victims but chooses not to simply because he'd rather not? It's an incredibly ambitious show, but what's the fun in TV without shock factors? Where's the excitement without risk? Let's look at Stranger Things, for example. Season 1 was incredible and exciting. It was a mix of mystery, sci-fi, and horror that kept the audience curious throughout the season's story building. Now, this might be controversial, but seasons 2 to 4 were... how do I say this? There was nothing new. Every season of Stranger Things turned out to pretty much be the exact same plot. A creature emerges from the upside down. Demogorgon. Mind Flayer. Mind Flayer again. And then of course, Vecna. The main character saves the day, an occasional side character doesn't make it. Things actually got super interesting during season 4 when there were multiple chances of a main character, Max, dying. But of course, she made it through and everyone was a little disappointed. Even Millie Bobby Brown said that this show needs to start killing off its characters, and she volunteered herself.
You need to start killing people off. Also, the Duffer Brothers are two sensitive Sallies that don't want to kill anyone off. I know, kill me off.
Unfortunately, the directors just aren't ambitious enough, but that's just my opinion, so take it as you wish. Season 5 is the finale, so hopefully we'll get some shock factors out of that. They'll just have to make sure there's an audience around that still cares by the time it releases. Back to the main topic, The Boys. Where were we? Oh yes, if you need something that is shocking, exciting, and so disturbing that you wonder how it's even allowed to be available to the public, The Boys is for you. I always see comments online from people who have never seen the show saying, what is this show even about? After seeing the most out of context clip to ever exist. And I think that's what makes it great. It's so absurd and probably nothing like you've seen before. This might be a spoiler for people who have not finished season 4, but in terms of shock factor, can I just say that I had a whole part written out about the foreshadowing of the death of A-Train and Frenchie and how everyone thought that it was over for the both of them in season 4. But to our surprise, A-Train had his final goodbye and didn't die, and neither did Frenchie. The show makes me so anxious because they could pull shit like this, and even if you think you know the next move, you don't. Can we also talk about how many memes have surfaced from this show? I mean, it's crazy. Granted, they're mostly of Anthony Starr, but hey, he's an incredible actor. Here are my favorites.
I'm stronger, I'm smarter, I'm better, I am better!
Oi, Stevie fucking Wonder, will you knock it off? You're doing me fucking head in.
100 million to Black Lives Matter.
No, not those people!
Sorry that I'm completely off topic right now, but I also really enjoy the fact that they take social media to another level. The production uses social media to promote the show as if they are VOT, and I think that's really fun. Especially when people are playing along in the comments too. Everyone's in character, it's great, it's peak. Okay, enough distractions. The title of this video is Superhero's Biggest Game Changer. I just can't stop thinking about Marvel and DC too. I was a huge fan. I didn't start to realize all the rinse and repeat of all their productions until everyone else did. Again, the recipe for a superhero movie is super simple. Good guy, bad guy, side character that's innocent. Big fight, bad guy almost wins. Plot armor, good guy takes the dub. Side character dies in the process. Bittersweet ending. Now, I'm not saying that The Boys doesn't have any plot armor or simple plot recipes. In fact, all 4 seasons have been about trying to kill Homelander and they still haven't gotten anywhere. But they've taken such unique creative direction with every individual character that it makes for such a cohesive story and it's hard to get bored of. Granted, I feel like you definitely have to pay close attention to the details of the writing and the humor in order to appreciate how interesting and bold it actually is.
Blow A-Train.
Sex is just a spectrum, right, bro?
Can we talk about the finale of season 4, by the way? I was honestly thinking that this season needed a little bit more chaos, but that ending, oh my god. That ending was fucking incredible. Personally, I think that there have been better seasons, but this has been the best finale by far. I'm really excited to see what they do with the cast of Gen V, as well as Sister Sage, and of course Kamiko. Whether you like the show or not, I do still believe that it is a huge game changer, and I really do hope that bigger superhero production companies are able to take creative inspiration from it. I mean, I think there's a clear reason why it's doing so well right now. Anyways, I don't really know what else to say before I start repeating myself over and over again. The Boys and Gen V are actually filmed in my city, huge with the locals, not to be biased or anything. So I've been having a lot of fun with hearing all the new updates on the new seasons and stuff. Super hyped. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. Have you seen The Boys? Do you agree with what I'm saying, or am I just like completely wrong? Bye.